What exactly do I need in order to have a Scrum job? What am I missing? I've tried every possible thing, but I don't yet have a job and I feel like giving up. What possibly should I do? Hello, welcome to the Scrum chat room with Dr. Francis Mbunya. And today we want to talk about what you can do in order to have a Scrum job. Now, one thing I want to guarantee you is that everybody have the potential or to learn a job. The difference is what you know or your knowledge on what you need to do. After talking to several people who reach out to me like, I'm giving up. I've done everything possible, but I can't get a job. In less than 15, 20 minutes, we're able to figure out what they're missing. In the next couple of days, I'm going to be taking you step by step through what you might be missing in the journey. But today, I want to focus on the first thing, and I want to go really deep in the process so that you understand. And the first thing which almost everybody is missing is having a plan. Having a plan. And when I discuss in this video about how having a plan can help you land a job in less than no time, you are going to understand that a plan is not just about how serious you are, but it focuses a lot on how you can measure your progress. Many of us cannot measure our progress apart from what is in our head. So we're going to talk about that plan. And then at the end of the day, I am also going to put a link on how you can get my plan, which I work together with those who are in my community of practice in order to have the job. But then let's go straight to our conversation for today. And after talking about the plan, I'm also going to go deeper to talk about how to measure your plan. I might not handle this in this video, but the next video that's going to come up in the next 2 days on Thursday, I will talk about how to measure your plan. All right, how to measure a plan. Now, I'm going to talk about this today. I'll talk about the plan, how to measure, and how to actually grow. I'll talk about all of this in this video today. Now, in my next set of video, I'm going to go next to the foundation of Scrum on how you build that foundation. But remember, just as you're building a house, right? You cannot build a house until you have a plan, right? And when you have a plan, what happens? You need to build a foundation. Now, these are two critical stuff that I'm missing. But today I'll talk about the plan. In the next video, I'll talk about the foundation. Now, before I go, you want to click the subscribe button and the like button. Now, I want to take some time to teach. I have about 10 different series that's going to build you step by step on what you're doing. You don't want to miss a video. What I want to do is that I want to put out 3 series of video in a week where I consistently give you the step-by-step process. Now, one good news for everybody, especially those who have been following me, is that I have been able to put together 150 plus questions chronologically, not just anyhow, targeting all the different aspects of Scrum that is going to help those who are ready kind of just sit back, relax, going through all possible questions that you could have in Scrum. If you have done your homework and you get all of these questions, trust me, there is definitely nothing you'll not be able to attempt in Scrum. So I'm also going to put a link on how you can access that resource from my study site as well. I'll put a link there. And I know most of you will like, oh, this is expensive. Trust me, the value you will get is nothing compared to what is there, right? One of the stuff I pay attention to is how to create value for you in order to get what you achieve, what you want to achieve. Now, when I talk about having a plan, when you are serious about having a Scrum Master job, what exactly am I talking about? The first thing I want to remind everyone watching me is that nothing works without a plan. Nothing works without a plan. So if you're in the Scrum Master journey or you have been in the Scrum Master journey and I ask you, what is your plan about getting a job? Now you would tell me, oh, I attended so many classes and nothing came out of it. Now, the first thing I remind everyone is that At any point in time, if you're not understanding something, most often it has less to do with the teacher. It has more to do with your understanding. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say that you take a child that is in the elementary, right, and place that child in the high school or in college, right. Now that child is going to listen to what the teacher might be saying, but that child cannot process it in a way that will give them result. Now this is where many people who are looking for Scrum job are. They listen to YouTube video every day. They listen to question and answer every day, but they are missing the foundation. First, the planning. I'll talk about the foundation a bit later. They are missing, number one, the planning that help them to understand. The reason why, when you go to every educational institution, we have the curriculum structure step by step, is to ensure that you build the right knowledge that gives you the result. Many of us have not bear the right knowledge, and we're wondering, oh, I've done this, I've done this. Now, all what we know, it's about the knowledge we get from maybe reading, or the knowledge we get from YouTube, or knowledge we get from just listening to me talk, right? Now, apart from that, the reason why most often you cannot just go and start reading any information you see in order to pass, let's say, an exam or to get your certificate or your degree is because there is a chronological process, and most often we miss out this chronological process. So the first phase is planning. Now, when if you happen to be part of my community, which will function more like a perfect institution, we follow that system. When you get in, like, oh, I know I want this job in 1 month. I want this job in 2 months. I want it. Now I'm not working. I really need this job. Yes. Now, the first thing you need to understand is that the job doesn't bow to your emotion. It doesn't matter how emotional you are. It doesn't matter how badly you want it. Unless you're able to understand or have a plan and understand the gap that you need to fill, that job will not come to existence. And this is the reason why a lot of people give up, which means that you still have the potential to have that job, but there is something that is missing, which you need to be able to fill it. Right. So nothing works without a plan. Now, when we're talking about planning, how to get your Scrum Master job, what are we talking about? The same thing whenever you made a decision to attain anything significant in life, you need a plan. You will not tell me that you're planning to relocate and you don't have a plan on the timing, on the budget, on the location and sustenance. Now, many people, when you come to a space of career, you also want things to happen like automatically without thinking like, oh, this is a major move I'm taking. And unfortunately, since you cannot align to this role, you cannot also align to the job. And then you conclude by saying that you have done everything possible. So this is why I'm kind of challenging you today. Now, the next series of teachings that I'm going to be doing subsequently, which is why you don't want to miss it, it's definitely not to do question and answer, because I have addressed the component of question and answer by putting together more than 150 plus possible question and answer in an orderly manner that you can be able to get that and study that back to back. For many of you, you think you're ready. Now, my challenge for you is that you want to go get those questions, right? And go through them and see if I go through them, I answer them and see if you can. So when you play a question, because organized chronologically. When a question is asked, I want you to pause the video and answer it. Now, listen now to how I answer that question and see if your answer is in alignment to that. That's how you get ready. But now, let me not kind of distract you from our main focus of today, right? Because our main focus of today is about how to build a plan. Number one, I talk about the effort. What effort do we need? Right. Now, the effort you need to do something is based on your understanding of it. Many people don't pay attention to do the research on what effort they need. So we have a lot of people, we end at the level of PSM and CSM, and we're like, oh, you know what? I have my certification. I've done my resume. Now, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Right. Now, the effort you're thinking you have, an average person in the job market has at least 3 different levels of certification. Now you have just PSM. And you're like, oh, I've done everything possible. No, no. Now, then these are advice everyone to have. It leads a safe Scrum Master. A safe Scrum Master gives you an in-depth on how to work in an enterprise environment, how to work with stakeholder, and gives you a deep dive and gives you an opening to compete in every Scrum position in the market. But if you're missing out the safe Scrum Master certification, you can only compete on positions that need only Scrum Master and not safe Scrum Master. Unfortunately for you, this weekend, we're having a safe Scrum Master training session, Saturday, Sunday, 2 days. You go through that and you have your certification. Trust me, that will really advance your understanding in the job and also understanding of the whole concept of Scrum. And many people have the ideology that, oh, safe is difficult. Let me start with this. It's not difficult. Something is only difficult based on who is teaching you and based on your own analogy. So definitely trust me, it's not difficult. Now, another certification I'll always also recommend, especially for those who are actively interviewing and it seems like the market is strong. I also challenge you, like, go for a PO certification or a release train engineer certification. Right. Now, these are also certifications that we plan and we deliver them more of internally to our community. So if you also want to have access to any of these, you can send me a message and I'll be able to deliver that to you. Now, the second thing you need in the aspect of planning how to get a Scrum job is resources. It's very funny that most often when we are looking at, we know that if we have this Scrum job, it's definitely going to help us advance in so many things. But unfortunately, we don't prioritize it. It's like, oh, you know what? I really wanted to invest in my Scrum journey, but I have this in place. I need to do this. I need to do this. And all of the things that we are putting on our list that are stopping us from investing in what will cause us to take a step in life are things that will continuously put us back. So now you see, I talk to many people, and after 6, 7, 8 months, 1 year, they are still on the same spot and they are still saying, oh, my finances are tight. Now, there is one thing about taking a step ahead, right? It's part of planning. We're doing coaching today. We're not doing what is Scrum and all of that because many of you need this coaching in order to bridge the gap. Now, you realize that anytime you want to take a step, you're tired of a level, you want to take a step, you are going higher, you're not going lower. When you're going higher, what happens? You need a different level of energy in order to step higher. If not, what is going to happen is that you remain at the same level. If you're not willing to invest an extra level of energy to step up, you realize that what? And this requires resources, this requires effort. So you must be able to commit not just your effort, the resources, and also the time. Timing is not based on what you have available. Timing, everything you want to do has the effort that you must input in order to complete it. And this effort is not the same for everybody. Right. Now, we do a 90 days training on how to learn a Scrum Master job, where we are able to walk you from the certification to the concept practice to practicals and make you a full-fledged Scrum Master. But you realize that many people cannot go through these 90 days because their foundation, their understanding is a bit not strong. So the first 30 days, which we spend in training people on concepts and understanding the word, now it might take them twice that time to understand it because of where they're coming from, because of their understanding. Now, so don't say, oh, I want this in 2 weeks. The time period in which you want it and want to plan to get it is based on your understanding. And most often you start getting this understanding when you take that first step. So have an open mind that you really want to do it. Now think about this as someone who is going to a pharmacy school. They know that it's going to take them about 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, but they have a prepared mind to do everything possible. And most of what they are going to discover that they need to do, they discover it in the process. But often in the process of us having a Scrum Master job, we want to plan everything before time. If it doesn't happen as we thought about it, we think that it will not happen for me. It's not for me. Now we start making excuses. Or the market is very saturated, or I have XYZ excuses. If you really want something, there is no excuse apart from you giving up that will stop you from getting that. Right. I know it comes with an extra cost, it comes with an investment, but if you're not willing to do that investment in the right direction, I always advise people stop wasting your time from one video to another. For some people, if you definitely don't have the finances to invest, it's time to focus your energy on something else and then raise the money and invest in the right direction. It saves you a lot of time, right? So you cannot do this without a budget. Now, the next stuff which we want to talk about, which I think I already talked about, that is getting the right certification and building your stuff. Now, certification, a lot of people also get it wrong. I've seen people, they had about 6 certifications, they have 0 practical. They don't even have a plan. So all they do is 1 certification, listening to YouTube video, they're frustrated. If you're not aligned to a community of practice, you will hardly get it, except you're already a star on your own. Anytime you want to take higher in a certification or a degree, what happens? You look for an institution that can offer that. Not that most often we cannot do it on our own. There's so much power in accountability when you work with a group of like-minded people that are moving the same direction. There's so much power there. Most often, I've seen people in my community where they call me like, okay, you know what? I think I need a break. And I like, you know what? You don't need a break. You need more work. And 1 week after that, they are getting an offer. Because at the point where you are about to align to your result, most often something is going to come up, right? Now, this is another aspect of coaching, which we can dive into. And unfortunately, most of those who are in my community, we get to talk about this a lot. Apart from just you studying and grasping the concept, there are many other things which you need to know about yourself. You need to know about success that help you to succeed, right? Which is why becoming part of my community is the best place you can be. We don't just do Scrum, we teach you how to grow in life. Now, the second thing I want to talk about today on planning, when you plan, it's now easy for you to measure at what level you are, right? You understand that you cannot live in a house unless you complete what? The foundation, you build up, you do the roofing, and you do. Now, many people cannot give up because they've done the foundation, they start building up, but they think they are done, right? So they cannot actually settle that. And that is why planning is very important and help you to measure. Now, when you measure, you now go to the second part, which is how to grow. How to grow is also a very big limitation, especially for those who already have jobs. The reason it takes someone who have a job and maybe their contract ends or they lose their job, an average of 6 months plus to get another one is because they don't have a growth plan. All right, this was series 1. On Thursday, I'm going to talk about series 2. When you master this, the next part is the foundation. How do you build a solid foundation? You don't want to miss my next video. But most importantly, I want you to subscribe. I want you to stay close to this channel because I want to teach about 10 different series, focusing on the core aspect that will help you to close that gap in less than no time. If this was beneficial, definitely feel free to share. We take a lot of time to create this content to give you what you need without thinking not. Yeah, one of the things I don't do is I don't say to you, right? I give you what you need. I give you the information you need. Now you have what you need to make a decision. And I want to encourage you, go get those 150 plus questions. They are going to confront your ignorance. They're going to teach you. They're going to help you get there, right? The value is nothing compared to the price. And most importantly, I'm going to see you in the next video. Now, I'm going to teach you about the core values, the principles, and how all of this can come together to help you become an outstanding Agile practitioner. I'll see you in the next video.